Madhuri. Good.
Yeah, I'm Madhuri and I work for Swasth Foundation. I run the preventive healthcare program in Swasth Foundation and I'm associated with CTT from last 2-3 months. I was little disconnected from the program actually, but I have resumed back. So I'm starting with the webinar also. I'm attending.
Welcome.
So nice to meet both of you, Madhuri, and it's been some time since we have met. I don't think it's 2-3 months. It's been 6 months that you have been with us. 2-3 months you have been off the grid, right? So nice to meet you. Ashish, Swasth is one of the foundations that we actually work with. Okay. They are people who, as Madhuri explained, they also wanted to kind of get the world around how the conversations with people whom they're working with could go through the Swasth Foundation. So they were part of the program and they've joined us today. So thanks guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shailendra, would you like to go?
I think, sorry for that. I think there are 16 participants and everybody, if they take 1 minute, I think will be...
It's 16
participants. So I think it will be good if we can connect on a email chain and we can know more about each other. Sorry guys, that's not the intent of stopping anybody. But I think yes, as Arvind was saying, time is short. We have a short period of time with us. And happiness as a subject is so big that it's very, very difficult to get the construct of happiness being put in 45 minutes. Okay, and as I'm mentioning, the light has gone.
He's in Delhi. Ashish is in Delhi, by the way.
Yes.
And Delhi is known for power cuts, right?
Right. So I think it's really difficult to get the entire content in 45 minutes. So with your permission, probably I can set the context in terms of what exactly we are trying to cover today. What exactly you'd like to know. Maybe there is a chat window and you can just put your questions there in case you have any query. And there is any specific thing which you want to know from me, it would be very good. But I'll start with a bit of introduction from my side so that it gives a context to everybody who am I and what I'm doing with the August company of CTT coaches. Okay?
Yes, Ashish. Yes, that will really help. Yes,
it will be good. So I'm a simple human being, and I tend to enjoy life much more from thing like being part of the group. I was the university topper. Then worked with different companies in the marketing department. I was with Kotak Mahindra, Gallup Strengths Finder. If you guys have not heard about it, then it's okay. You are hearing it for first time from me. What you can do is you can go ahead and buy the code from their website and take that test. And that test actually tells you what exactly is within you which makes you brain good, and what exactly are your natural reactions to different stimuli which you go across to. And that concept actually changed my life because that's fundamental of positive psychology which you're good at. And then let's focus on something which you're not doing so well. And typically we tend to, take it for granted on something which you are really good at. But what is what you're good at? Can we put that in front of us and say what exactly we should do to improve it further? So much so that your weaknesses, does not come in your way because you are taking care of those weaknesses through your strength. And the definition of weakness, the way it was explained to us was, anything which comes in your way of achieving your goal can be your weakness. So for example, I don't know how to play a piano, and is this a weakness for me? Not really, because to do this webinar, I don't need to play a piano. Similarly, if there is something which is not relevant from a skill set for the goals which you're trying to achieve, it's not a weakness, because it does not matter whether you know that particular thing or not. So that was the construct with which I got initiated in positive psychology. And after 5 years of practicing strengths and concepts around strength and appreciative inquiry, in 2013, I decided to pursue my PhD. And interestingly, Bombay University approved my topic of studying happiness at workplaces. And then I realized that that was the worst place to find happiness, okay? Because workplaces are not designed to make you happy. If you are happy, then your bosses come across and say, I think you don't have enough work, and that's why you are, moving around. So it was very difficult to find happiness at workplaces, but it has been an interesting journey. And, one interesting thing I will say, I like asking questions. So when I go and ask people in organizations that if there is no financial constraint, or if there is no constraint which you have in your life, would you continue doing what you're doing today? And surprisingly, most of the people, if they are honest, tell me that, you know what, I will do something else, because it's the money, or it's something which I'm stuck to. I don't have an option. But you know what? I will live my life once I have enough money. I will live my life once I have, I have retired, or I have ensured that people whom I am responsible towards, they are settled in. Unfortunately, that time never comes, and we live a life where we are not thriving. Most of us are struggling. And Gallup's data for last 15 years is telling us that only 13% people coming to work are engaged. Okay, and rest 87% of people who come to workplace, given an opportunity, would not like to come to that place. So if you are part of those 13%, that means you're a lucky lot anyway. Okay, so you can be happier because you actually look forward to coming to work, because 80% of your waking hours you spend at your workplace. And imagine a situation if you don't enjoy coming to a place where you are spending most of your waking hours, leave alone anything else, it damages your physical health. You get to get involved with stress earlier. Blood pressure comes very fast, and there are a lot of instances where younger people are getting heart attack. So it's not about only work pressure, but it's also about the environment in which you are operating. So that is one part of it. And the second part is what I realized, that when I went and asked kids in school, that guys, what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy going to school? And a lot of them said, no, we don't enjoy going to school. So I said, then what do you enjoy? So they said, we enjoy playing. And I said, why you enjoy playing? So he said, it's so much of fun. Nobody restricts us and we get thrill. So I said, have you ever felt that thrill in your schools? And they said, no, I don't think we get thrilled by going in the entire idea of going to school and listening to somebody. And then that made me think that, the first 25 years of your life, you like or not like, you go to school, and invariably you don't like that. Most of us don't like that. And then after you have done your schooling and your parents have taught you, read well, get good marks, get to a good job, and then you'll be happier. Okay. And once you get a good job and come to workplace, then Gallup data tells us that 13% people are only happy, and rest of them are actually not wanting to come. So if I look at the entire time frame from 5 years, when the kid starts, going to school, and before that, I don't realize that they have enough sense of, feeling what exactly is going on in their life. From 5 years to 60 years, you have a lifespan, and you are doing things in your waking hours which invariably you don't want to do. And that's where the concern of we Indians particularly, leading a life which is a life of struggle has been very prominent. And this got doubled by, backed by what United Nations published a report on happiness few months back. It was 20th March. 20th March is every year when World Happiness Day is celebrated. So if you are not aware, then you should know this, and you should at least try to be happy on that day, because United Nations feels that being happy is everybody's right, and they come up with a state of happiness in the world. India 2019 ranking was 140th, 40, out of 156 countries, and this after having reached a ranking of 111 in 2013. So every year there is a deterioration in terms of how Indians are feeling as far as their happiness is concerned. So that's the context, and that really makes me very excited about my job, my mission in life, that I should at least tell people that forget everything. At the end of the day, you are not happy. Nothing is worth of your time. So I think that's the background, and I think this webinar is an opportunity for me to talk to you, like you esteemed coaches who deal with a lot of people achieve their goals, because as coach, your role is to ensure that you untangle the cobwebs which people have in their mind, and they achieve what they want to achieve and reach their potential. That's how I look at coaching. I might not be an expert here, but that's my simple understanding of how coaching works. And if that is the case, then I would also ask you to like you to ask all your coaches that, guy, at the end of the day, what makes you happy? Is it the result, or is it the process of achieving that? Okay. And if your answer is only the result, that means you are not actually living a life which can be what I call a thriving life. Okay. And the fun is in playing, fun is in living life at every moment, and the results will come as they have to come. Because if your process is right, a few days back, a video went viral of MS Dhoni suggesting a young kid that the secret of success is having fun while you play. And he was saying that if your process of your the goals are right, and if you're doing a good job approaching those steps on a regular basis, results will come. But at the end of the day, you should keep asking yourself, are you enjoying yourself or not? And I think that's the key. And that's where this entire construct of happiness becomes very, very important for us. So that's the beginning. And I think I covered a lot of base in terms of what exactly happiness means to us, and what is the context in which I operate as far as my happiness work is concerned. And I want you guys, you coaches, to understand this, that as individual professionals, you impact life. And in your coaching sessions, I would like and urge you all to ask your people to reflect on what exactly makes them feel that they are living a life which is worth living. So I think that's the only piece. If I can make you understand that piece, I will think that 45 minutes of my time was worth spent. So I think that's the objective I'm setting from my side. And if you have any other question, probably you can ask in the chat. But I think that's where I will start talking more about this. Hope this is fine, Arvind and Aishwarya. I think that makes your objective for this session aligned to what I'm trying to say. So let me start with telling you a very simple fact that everybody is born happy, and over the years we learn how to be unhappy, and then a time comes where we still realize that we want to be happy, and then again we want to start to learn being happier. And in the bargain, what we realized that it was not a rocket science. I think we forgot the simple basic things of life, which we took granted for, and started focusing on something else, and happiness as a construct left behind somewhere. Okay, so that's how we are leading life right now. And most importantly, kids are someone who can teach us how to be happy. And kids are the one who we have got PhD in making them unhappy. Okay, because we always try to put our point of view to them and say, this is the thing which you should be doing, and that's something which makes them very unhappy. So what makes us unhappy? I will talk about some sins which we keep committing. I think there are three C's I will talk about. One is this entire thought process of comparing. And I think this disease, if I can say so, is one of the most lethal disease which we have, where you are not happy with what you have got. You are unhappy with what others have got. Okay, and it happens every time, everywhere. We realize that when we advise companies on compensation planning, what we realized during our research, that people are actually not unhappy with what they are getting. People are actually unhappy with what others are, if they come to know that what they are getting, and that's sends a signal to them that world is unfair, and this is not how these things should be. So comparison is one. Second is about this pursuit of materialistic things, which we, in today's world, what has happened is consumerism, marketing of different products has ensured that every ad tells us that how a beautiful life should look like, and forces us to believe that unless and until we have got something which has been displayed at the ad, our life is not complete. So we always feel that if we have got this, then we will be happier. And then this entire construct of if we study and get good marks, then I will be happy. If I get a good job, I will be happy. If I have got a good wife or husband, then I will be happy. So when you talk about if and then, your happiness is dependent on few things. And I think that's where the problem comes in. So your quest of gathering more and more things is something which actually makes you unhappy at the end of the day. And the third piece is this entire sense of ego. I might not respect others, but my expectation from other is that if you meet me, you should show respect to me. I keep buying a new watch or a new phone, the latest designer phone, with an anticipation that somebody will notice it and they will feel wow, or maybe feel jealous about me, and that will give me happiness. And that's where the pursuit of the latest gizmos comes into picture, latest cars comes into picture, and nobody realizes that in reality, nobody is bothered about what brand you are wearing, which car you are driving, which house you are living, because it doesn't matter to them. You take it very seriously, but others are actually not bothered at all. So entire quest of trying to create a differentiation for you in the society is a wasted effort, because everybody is bothered about themselves, and nobody is actually, have you noticed how many BMWs are parked in Mumbai roads? I think they don't even get a parking slot where they can be put safely, and these cars are worth lakhs, if not crores. So that should give you an understanding of it is your perceived understanding of the value, but in reality, for people, it does not makes a lot of difference. So that's the third thing. And the fourth thing is, in relationships, we always try to feel that we can control things, and that's where we always say that this is the way it should be, especially with our kids and spouse. We always try to force our way because we want them to understand that we are right, and we care for them. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, the relationship goes in a direction where nobody wants to be interfered. Everybody wants to be empowered, and since they want to sense freedom, and since they don't know this, that's where the concerns in the relationship starts creeping in. So these are some of the concerns. By the way, your intelligence doesn't have any correlation with your happiness. Your health, actual health, doesn't have any correlation with your happiness. It's the perception of your health. That do you feel good, even if you are going through chemotherapy? But if you feel good, absolutely fine. That has an impact. And similarly, actual wealth does not have any correlation with your happiness, especially till an extent. But the perception that you have enough money to buy things which you want to buy actually makes you happy. So the context around your color, your gender, your marital status. By the way, people say that married people are happier, but it's a debatable topic. Probably we can have more research around it, but that's the notion that if you are from a good, solid, strong marriage, you should be happier. But apart from that, most of the context in which we live doesn't have a lot of correlations with our happiness. What correlates with our happiness is our attitude towards life. And what does that mean is that I might be struggling right now, but if I have an optimistic bent of mind, that will mean that I am taking every challenge as an opportunity to learn something, and I'm pretty hopeful for the future. And that matters the most, because hope and optimism are few aspects which can be taught to individuals. And as coaches, you would love to have tools around you to actually know how exactly you measure optimism and hope. I can actually download a couple of optimism and hope questionnaire for you. You can actually administer this to your coaches, and what you will come to know is that what is the hope score. And hope score is calculated by your optimism when things are going right for you minus your optimism when things are not going right for you. So that's the hope score. And we realize that people who are optimistic and hopeful tend to lead a happier life than people who are overtly pessimistic, or people who start with a negative point of view. And there is a concept called set points, which tells us that people are born with a certain set points in their life. So for example, if I take the scale of happiness as 1 to 100, then there will be people who are born with a set point of 30. So even if they win a lottery or the world's best thing happens with them, they will still reach 50 because their set point is so low. On the other hand, you have got people whose basic standard point, which they start with, is 70. So they are actually happy people, and even things are going wrong around them, they will still say, find something good and be happy about it. So personality profile makes a lot of difference to the way you look at happiness. So as if you're trying to find somebody's happiness level and the way they are reacting to situations in which they are being happier or unhappy, one thing to measure is in their personality is whether they are optimistic people or whether they start life from a negative frame of mind. And I think that personality dimension actually tells us a lot about how people react to happiness. So that is the second one. Now there is a book called Flourishing by Martin Seligman, and this book talks about what exactly is a thriving life. Okay, and the thriving life, the way Martin explains, is a life where you have got pleasantness, where you have got engagement with what you do, and you also have got meaning and purpose in life. And I think these are the 5 points which I will mention, which will help you understand the construct of not happiness but a thriving life, where you're talking about well-being. And happiness can be different from subjective well-being, because everybody experiences happiness in a different forum, in different manner. So we call the technical term for happiness is subjective well-being. And when we try to measure happiness for individuals, we measure it through subjective well-being, which has primarily 3 questions. One question is around keeping everything into consideration, how happy you are at this present moment. Second question is keeping everything in mind, how happy you think you would be in the future. And third is keeping everything in mind what has happened with you are you happy with your life? So these three things combined together gives you a score of subjective well-being. And Martin says that if you want to influence somebody's happiness or subjective well-being, then these are the 5 taps which God has given us, and we should utilize that. So what are those 5 taps? The first tab that God has given us is what we call the pleasantness, the life of pleasantness. Anything which gives happiness to your senses, or anything which money can buy, is a life where you can experience a lot of pleasant emotions. And a lot of people buy this because that's why they are behind money, because they believe that if they have got enough money, then they can buy things which can work towards their sensory pleasures, and that will make them happy. So I think that's the correlation they see very easily, and that's why the quest of earning more and more money comes into picture. But this comes with a flaw, and this concept, although this is a tab given by God, but there is a flaw, a flaw in this particular way of leading life. The flaw is that it's like the more you have, the more you want to have, and the concept of uh, the value which you get, and this is called hedonic adaptation, which means that something which you did not have, you cried for it, but the moment you get it, you start feeling that okay, it's not worth it, and you want to chase something else. So this quest of adapting to new pleasures is so high in individuals that after a point of time, they start realizing that I wanted to buy a Ferrari, and actually I bought a Ferrari, only to realize that actually I wanted to buy a Lamborghini now, and I think that will satisfy me. And then when I buy a Lamborghini, I realize that, but then there are a lot of people who have got single-seater plane, and how can I just stay with one Lamborghini? And I would strive hard to get that one-seater plane for myself. So this is endless, and the way drugs work on individuals' brain, this quest of pleasantness also works on your brain. And what do I mean by that? So for example, to get a kick, I need to have 5 mg of a particular drug, and after some point of time I get used to it, and then even if I take 5 mg of that drug, after some point of time I don't get the kick. So for me to improve that kick, I need to increase the amount of dose which I was taking, so that it becomes 10 mg, then it becomes 15 mg, it becomes 20 mg, and then you become habituated. And that's where addiction comes in. And a lot of people are addicted to money, because in the end, they realize that money will give them everything. But I'm not saying that you should not have money in life. You should definitely have, but you should not get addicted to things which you realize that it is stopped giving you kick. And there is a way in which you can take a pause and say, okay, this is enough, and I think we can move to other tabs which God has given to us. So that's we call the life of pleasantness. And the second tab is what we call a life of flow. And what does that mean is that you get to do what you love doing. You have the talents or skills which matches the challenge you are working on, and you also feel something called time distortion. What time distortion means is that you spent 5 hours on something, and when you ended the work, you realized that it just went past by, and you didn't even notice that how you spent so much time doing something. And this this state of being in trance or being in bliss, where you don't realize what time is going on, is a concept what we call being in flow. And the easiest way to imagine this is when you see sports person playing their match, or the artists who are doing riyaz or performing live on the camera, or in a room full of speakers. You can sense that even if you don't pay them anything, they will still do that because the mere sense of doing that activity thrills them. And if you don't have anything in your life where you get thrilled by just doing it, that means you have closed your second tab. That is, the life of flow is closed for you. And then you want to go back and say, anyway, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, so at least give me more money. And then you go back to your manager or your people and say, you know what, anyway, since I don't enjoy what I'm doing, let me go and work with somebody who pays me more than what I'm being paid for the same job. And that's where you get into trap, and you don't enjoy again the work with a increased salary. So I think if in your life, and you can ask your coaches, if they don't experience the time distortion even once in a day doing what they do, it's time for them to leave their job, because that means they are leading a life where flow is not being experienced. And if you don't experience flow, that means you are leaving aside one aspect of your life which can give you a lot of happiness. So I think another way of asking this question would be, tell me something which you will do even if somebody does not pay you anything. By the sheer love of doing this, you will do. So I am called to speak on happiness at one of the leadership meeting in Pune, and the lady was saying that we will not be able to pay you anything. Would it be okay for you? I said, yeah, absolutely okay with me. That's it, it's not about money which gives me thrill. It's about the opportunity to talk about something which I'm really passionate, which gives me a lot of thrill. So that's my life of flow. And I thoroughly believe that if you have got this, the pleasantness will be taken care of. So that's the second part of from where happiness can be drawn out. Let me know if I'm going very fast or slow, or you want me to stop, go a bit easy, and I will moderate accordingly. Or it's fine. Just give me some feedback.
Sure, Ashish. Ashish, I just want to come in here. Two things. One, so there are few questions coming, or at least one question that has come up during the chat some time ago. I am not sure whether you're watching it or you want us to help you with that. The question was on when you were speaking about the 3 C's. The 3 C's. First was comparison. Second was during that time this question came up. How was the second and third reason different? Because you were kind of sharing 2 reasons at that time.
Okay.
So let me know if you want me to help you with the questions. I can come in and help you.
Sure. So I was saying comparisons, criticism, and capitalism. You want to earn a lot of money. I think that these are the 3 reasons I was talking about.
Right. Ellen, you want to?
Yeah. So the second and third was, the second one was more of a materialistic pursuit, and then the third was around ego. Yeah. So those were the 3 second and third point. But the thing was, again, the examples, even when you quoted for the third one, right, it was more around like the mobile phone, the cars and all that, right? It was more around materialistic pleasure, right? So that's why I was asking, how would it be?
Yeah, good question. And I think I will just explain why I said that. One was the pursuit of materialistic thing for the pursuit of it, because you get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Okay. The other point I was trying to make was, this you do to ensure that your ego is fulfilled. You start believing that since you own these things, you have arrived in life, and others should start giving you more respect. So I think that notion of connecting the materialistic thing with the way you look at life and relationships with others was the point I was trying to put in. So on an overall level, it may look similar. Yeah. But if you go a little deeper, you'll find that there is a certain nuance. Yeah.
Cool.
Very good point. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I will go to the third life,
yes.
Which can give you a lot of happiness, is what we call life of meaning. And what this means that this is only the only life where you are not living for yourself. People with a meaningful life they know what they are good at, and they use that goodness to bring a change in the environment they are living in. And if you don't have anything which you believe you are good at and can bring that change for the society or for somebody else, it can be your near and dear ones also. It does not need to be a social agent, or it does not need to be somebody who can actually make a difference by bringing a revolution in the society. But even if you are able to make a difference to somebody's life, I think you can get a lot of happiness from this belief that your life is not only for yourself, but there are more people who are impacted by you. I will take example of my dad, who was a clerk with one of the state government, in Jharkhand, and the only job he had to go to office, work hard, come back from office, and stay in a small place which we had. But what I used to notice that every day, evening and morning, before he goes to office and used to come back after the office, he used to gather people from our colony, and he used to teach them maths and English along with us. And this was not something big, okay, because he was anyway teaching us, and he just has to get more kids in the room so that others can also learn. But I think the amount of satisfaction and impact this small act made in the lives of these individuals gave him a lot of happiness. Because I don't think that he had a lot of money. So from pleasantness, he might not have experience staying in 5-star hotels or going on trips abroad. But you can sense when you meet him that the amount of calmness and composure and the serenity he has on his face, because he realizes that his life is not wasted. Because of him, there were a lot of people who could achieve what they could not have dreamt without his intervention. So when I'm talking about a meaningful life, I'm talking about something like this. And if you don't have anything in your life till now, time has come for it, means that the third tab, which is meaningful life, is closed for you. And then typically in workplaces, people say, "Arey, I'm anyway not enjoying what I'm doing. I also don't see whatever I'm doing makes a difference to anybody. So give me more money. At least money should be coming to me, because that will mean that my hard work is giving me something else, which ultimately will give sensation to my body, and my mind will be happier." So I think that's where the close, when your taps are closed, then again the problem comes in. So that is the third life. I hope that is clarified from my side. The fourth life is what we call the life of achievement. And what does this mean is that if in your life, if you are not chasing something which is worth your pursuit, that means if you are not having a goal, it can be short term, mid term, or long term, whatever it is. But if you don't have a concrete goal in life, and if every day morning, if you don't get up and say, am I going closer to that goal, or if I am not closer to that, and what should I do, that means your fourth tab is also closed. So you will see a lot of happier people will, a simple goal like, I want to get up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, and go for a walk. If I can do that, you will realize that you get a lot of happiness. If you feel that I need to read a book in a week, if you finish that, you will realize that you will feel very happy about it. So the importance of goals and your ability to pursue that in a manner in which you can sense that how you're progressing around it, and there is a feedback, gives a lot of happiness to people. But achievement for the sake of achievement can become counterproductive, because if it is not balanced with other part, like if you don't feel, you don't have pleasure, if you don't get into flow, and if you don't have meaning about what you're achieving, then in isolation it can lead to a situation where you can burn out despite achieving so many things. So I think that's the only caution I will have as far as life of achievement is concerned. But for you to feel really happy, you also need to get this tap open up, otherwise your life will be quite empty. So that's the fourth tap of happy life. And the fifth and the last one, which Harvard has proved to us, the longest study in the world on happiness told us that the life of relationships, that if in your life, if you don't have people who care for you, or if you don't have people who you care for, everything you do does not matter at the end of the day. We are social animals, and we want to be with people around whom we can care and trust. And if you have somebody whom you can call up 3 o'clock in the morning to talk about your concerns, that means you have got somebody, and you can feel that you have a life full of relationships. If you don't have anybody whom you can rely on, and be open, and don't have any pretense sharing anything, if you don't have somebody like that, that means your even that type of relationship is closed. So 5 things: the pleasant life, the life of flow, the meaningful life, the life of achievement, and the last is the life of relationship. This is the framework, and unless and until we have balance around this, we will be leading a life which is tilted on one side, and that means that's a struggling life. And that's where we believe that as coaches, you need to bring these conversations in your coaching process, where you ask people to reflect on these elements of life rather than just being focused on only one side of it. And if we can do that, that's where we say that individual is having a life which is thriving. And by the way, Martin Seligman's research on number of people thriving in the world matches with the number of people who are happy coming to work. So it's only 12% people worldwide who are thriving, and rest 88% people are either struggling or struggling very badly in life because they don't have a balance on these 5 elements. So I thought this is something which I will cover as far as the discussion around this is, about around the time which I have got. And I will stop here and will be very keen to answer a few questions if you have, and talk about some of the things which can be of interest to you. Arvind, hope this is fine.
Perfect. Ashish, I have a question here on your 4th tab of life of achievement. So you were talking about the limitation of that tab. Can you just elaborate a little more on that? Why achieving more is also can lead to burnout rather than giving the happiness?
Yeah, so I was saying, when you achieve things, the dopamine as a hormone flows in your brain, and dopamine is the same hormone which drug addicts experience by consuming drugs. Okay, so what happens is, if you are achieving, you get that dopamine and you want to do more, and then you become so addicted to achievement that you forget the reason why you are achieving things. So I think there are business people who have the quest of making their company from 100 crore to 500 crore, from 500 to 2,500 crore, and then 2,500 crore to $1 billion. Okay, this is quest of achievement. I want to achieve. But if you ask them to reflect back that after all this achievement, what was the single most important thing for them? Why did they achieve so many things? And how it has made a difference to them and to people around them. And if they don't have an clear answer for you, that means the achievement was done without a thought process around how it is impacting relationships and how it is impacting their own meaningfulness in life. And if these 2 elements are not there, and if you're just pursuing for the quest of it, it can be counterproductive. I think that's the point I was trying to make.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so a couple of things, a couple of exercises I also feel that you can get your people do. And I think there are a couple of things I will say. If you want to do an experiment with yourself, you can do this. You can take a diary, and every day night before sleeping, you can just write 3 things which went well with you in the day. And research shows that if you are able to write this for 30 days, and if you measure your happiness on the first day, and if you measure your happiness on the 30th day, there is a marked difference between the way you felt happier earlier and then way you are feeling happier now. And this is because the concept of gratitude, because a lot of time our mind focuses on what we don't have, rather than thinking about what God has given us. And this exercise actually forces you to think that, in fact, life is too good for you to actually enjoy, and you are actually a lucky person, because there's so much of pain and anger around the world, and you are bestowed with something which makes you the person you are. Being normal is the biggest thing you can have. A lot of people are still not normal. So I think that is one. Second exercise I will ask you is, and this comes to me after speaking to a CEO who in my coaching session was crying, and he said, uh, I had a daughter, and I never valued her presence in my life, and I never felt that I should be spending time. Uh, and one fine morning, she was away. She has gone from the world, and I realized that what I have achieved all these things for. So what I wanted to tell you all is, uh, till the time we have an opportunity to say thanks, till the time we have got an opportunity to be with people whom we love, we should take advantage of that. And there is actually a way of writing gratitude letters. So think of a person who has made a difference in your life, write a heartful message to that person, and you can do this exercise whenever you want. And don't send that message on an email, or don't send it by snail mail. Fix an appointment, go to that person's house, sit in front of that person, take out your letter and read it for the person, and you will realize the sense of happiness both you and that person will feel will be immense. So I think this is the second tool which I can talk about, which gives people a lot of happiness as far as their existence in the world is concerned. And the third, and which is very close to my heart, is what we call creative altruism. So that means, can you find 5 different ways in which you can make people happy around you? Because most of us are chasing our happiness without realizing that the biggest happiness comes to you when you make others happy. And if we understand only this sentence of mine, that if instead of having the quest to be happier myself, is there a way in my life every day can I find at least one person who would feel happy because of my existence? Then your life is sorted. And when I say creative altruism, I will give you some examples. So when I go and I'm passing through a toll naka, I will pay for next three cars behind me, and I will ask the toll guys that don't ask money from them. And I will just stop, and see that what's the reaction they have. And generally they are very surprised, and they will, and this, it's not about 30 rupees, but it's the sense that why somebody can do something like this makes them pretty happy. And I, standing at the side, feel very happy and amused by seeing what their reactions are. One of the days I went to a vada pav stall in Bombay, and I asked the vada pav guy that what is the price of your vada pav? So he said $10. I said, okay, take 500 rupees and feed next 50 people and don't take money from them. And I just stood in the corner and was looking at people were so amused, happy. And I asked them that if they want to write what their emotions are, they should write on a book. And I was reading that book. I brought that book home, and I was reading emotions like, this is the best day of my life. I can't imagine somebody doing this to me. It was just $10, but the sense of happiness which I saw is like unmatched. We can have a lot of innovative ways, like leaving a gift in front of your neighbor's door, okay, and just seeing that what reaction they have, and without they realizing they've something coming on their door makes them happy. Or what I do is, for my near and dear ones, once in a while I send a book to them saying that this is what I feel you will really love. So this is without any occasion. this is just from my side, this is something you should be doing. So and you are intelligent people, and if you can think of a creative way in which you can make people happier around you, none of these 5 points you should remember. I think life will be happier, and you get happiness by making others happy is the mantra, and it will ensure that you build relationship. It will ensure that you have meaning in life. It will also ensure that you are achieving something or other every day, and it will also mean that you are having pleasantness and experiencing positive emotions. So all the 5 things I meant, can be done by this concept of creative altruism. So I think that's where I will stop and say it's already 7:54, and I was in flow, I guess, talking about this subject.
Somebody's already mentioned that, Ashish. We like the happiness flow in the program.
Okay. And you
enjoying the flow of the session. Something like that has already been said.
Yeah, and you'll realize that I don't have a book or a PPT or anything in front of me. I think I just went on and on, I guess.
Yes, that's your flow, I guess. And what I liked about it is you already had the happiness in your face while you were actually.
Yes.
Yes. George wants to say something. George, yes.
Yeah. Ashish, thank you so much. I mean, this is probably the best 1 hour that I've invested in today.
Okay.
It's given so much of perspective. I just wanted to augment what you said in the last about creative altruism. I mean, fabulous examples that you gave. But one thing that I noticed was, each of these examples that you gave, it was somewhere you had to shell out cash, right? Whether it was for the vada pav or for the book, you had to shell out the cash.
Yeah.
I have had different experiences where sometimes you don't have to shell out cash. Even stopping by on the road and helping somebody,
absolutely,
makes his day and yours as well. I've done this many times where I've stopped by where people were trying to change, tires, and they are not able to, and I just stop by and ask, do you need help? Initially, they are a little hesitant, but then I take out my gear and go and change their tires. They're extremely happy.
Yeah.
And I think you could do any such things that can make people around you, strangers, really, really happy.
Yeah, and I am sorry for that. If it meant that shelling out money only makes people happy, that was not the intent. But that's where your creativeness comes into picture. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. No, I didn't mean it that way. I was just trying to augment it that this could be done anyways.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Everybody else? Lakshmi, you want to say something?
Hello.
Helen, you want to say something?
Yeah. I was just trying to say, so the similar example to the vada pav, right? So what you were saying. So I was just in a temple the weekend, and then we were just leaving the slippers and taking it back. I just gave 20 rupees and then said, hey, you take it for the rest of the people also, right? The person was trying to get change for me, right? Whereas I just said, hey, no, it's okay. Make sure you don't get the thing from the other people, right? No, it's a small thing, 20 rupees, right? Big deal.
One of the things which gave me a lot of happiness, George, again, sorry to say that, I gave a tip of 1,000 rupees for a food bill of 50 rupees. And that guy was like out of this world, saying that, what, sir, you have left your money here. I said, no, this is for you. He said, no, sir, I don't deserve this much. I said, no, you keep it. And $1,000 was nothing for me. But, the sense of wonder, especially to those guys like who are sitting in hot sun and they are trying to sell you something, like a vegetable vendor sitting in 42 degrees of heat. If I give him 1,000 rupees, for me it's like okay, fine, I will not have one dinner in one of the restaurants one evening. But for that guy, it is something which can take care of him for next 15 days. And I think the mere sense of having this feeling, somebody wrote, feel the gush. I feel the gush, and that's life is all about.
Thanks, Ashish. Yes, thanks for that example as well. That was really, really fantastic. Any other thoughts, guys? Before we say close, I just wanted to say a few words. Ashish, wonderful session. I think happiness is any day a huge topic for discussion, to share it, to think, and just, even what you actually shared as examples, I think it was so vivid as an example that, we could imagine. And that imagination itself creates so much of happiness just thinking about it, right?
Yes.
So I think that itself falls into the same place. So thank you, Ashish. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And thanks for coming in to, share this with all of us. We'll be in touch. Any material, anything that you want to send, you can send it across to me and Aishwarya, and we will forward it across to them with your details so that they can be in touch with you as well.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. And I am on LinkedIn, guys.
Okay.
Connect me with me there.
Yes.
And I keep sharing some of the interesting posts which I come across. I'm a consultant by profession, but you will not find a single post from me which is related to consulting. I always write things which is about happiness and something which is happening in our society. So please connect with me and we can continue.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Ashish.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. Hope you enjoyed the session. And we will see you next month. Right? All right. Sure. Thank you. Take care.